And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on my channel iKeysRacing. Marco speaking from Italy. Today we talk about Formula 1, going back to season 2001 with the Minardi season. I've started before my holidays. Episode number 2 today, the Malaysian Grand Prix on the Kuala Lumpur racetrack, using Grand Prix 4, coming from a decent result had in Melbourne in the first race of the season, with the win of David Coulthard with McLaren, followed by Barrichello Ferrari, Montoya and Ralph Schumacher with Williams, Alonso as 5th with an incredible scoring points arrival, and Alesi 1 point with the Jordan Mugen Honda. That being said, we have also the Constructor Championship that from the next episode you will see a bit better also here, more readable, let's say, with McLaren 10 points, BMW 7, Ferrari 6, European Minardi 2, Honda, Jordan Honda 1 point. So we can go to the next Grand Prix, that will be the Malaysian Kuala Lumpur track. I go directly to qualifying, just because I've made a bit of practice offline, and I have found a decent car setup that at least, let's say, allows me to drive in a decent comfort zone, even if it's not, let's say, the most powerful setup, to hope for a better result than starting from the back. I say this just because if the Kuala Lumpur track has two long and huge straights, it's maybe where I lose the most with the underpowered European engine Ford Minardi I have. And so anyway, the wing adjustment has been set up to at least lose the less possible while cornering, but having a decent top speed, and has been, let's say, fine setup for dry condition. We will see what will happen if we will use or will have a wet condition, and then so a wet setup. So far, let's say, I am around last position and not very competitive, to be honest, both with Alonso and Young. Anyway, if you want to drive the Minardi with the original season of Grand Prix 2, this is the setup. So rear wing 15, front 20, the brake balance 44-56, rear front, gear ratios from 27 to 57 with the 7th gear activated. The pit stop strategy will be a 2 pit stop race type, but we will check it afterwards. The advanced level will have springs and anti-roll bars, etc., very smooth. So these are the roll bars with 1500 and 150 front rear. Springs 800, 600. Ride 8, the tallest possible, 50 and 70, and despite this choice, I touch the bottom of the car, the plank, the belly of the car, when I brake hard for the last hairpin before the start-finish line, and I do the same at the end of the main straight. When I push very hard on brakes, the bottom of the car touches the asphalt, but is what I need, because driving with the keyboard and with very hysteric left, right, sharp turns and let's say not smooth acceleration and braking is the only way I've found to have a drivable car. No pakers used so far. Dampers 2 out of 8 both front and rear. Fast rebound 2 out of 8 front and rear. Slow bumps 6 out of 24 front and rear, and you can guess, slow rebound 6 out of 24 front and rear. We are using asymmetrical editing. The differential, out of 10 possible choices, with 0 or 1, let's say, as the smoothest one, and 10 at the maximum level, I'm choosing a 5-point setup. to have at least, let's say, as said, decent drivable car. And it's not the best, but it's the maximum I've obtained while offline. So we will go back to the cockpit, accelerate the time just to have some references in front of us. As you can see, the top drivers are running around 135. That is really something special, because generally I am around 140. So this is the maximum I have found. And we start with Fernando Alonso with 2 tentatives. As you have heard, I've touched also here the plank of the car, under the car. Some racing lines are difficult to follow with the keyboard, and luckily you have a controlled, semi-controlled steering wheel when you use the keyboard. As you can see, 1.5 seconds from Thomas Ainge, and while practicing I was doing 140, so I'm really also out of my personal best lap. There is 1 second space, room for doing something better. Ooh. too far from the apex. And 40.9. Bad racing line. And far from the ideal racing line also here. Sometimes the computer controls your steering wheel and you are really in the struggle to choose to spin or accept what the computer is going to do. Anyway, 141.0. Let's go also to qualify also Alex Young. Compared to what we have achieved in qualifying with the previous Grand Prix, here with the Minardi we will suffer a lot. Let's make some minutes. Okay, 8 minutes and we can leave the pits and score at least 2 quick lap times. I love the animation of Grand Prix 4, especially during the pit stop in the race day. They are absolutely beautiful. I don't understand why not every game today available, considering that this game has almost 20 years of time passed since its release. Don't understand why some games don't have a proper animation in the pit. Yes, they steal a bit of time, so maybe the best solution would be the choice for the user to switch between a flying lap and a complete animation of what is the, let's say, real life of time spent in the pit. Still nervous, the car. Ooh, too wide. You've seen I was turning right, and the controlled computer, semi-controlled computer, did read something different and put my car into a different racing line. We will try again. .8, a bit better. So far my best personal lap time. Last tentative with Young, then I will try to improve also with Alonso. No, I've lost the racing line. Okay, I think it is the maximum anyway. 2 minutes, so not enough time unless I try to take the checkered flag if rules were this way back then. Because maybe, I do remember at a certain point there was the change of rules, so if you got the checkered flag after your passage over the main straight, you could complete the lap time, but I do not remember when was the correct year when this rule has been applied. Anyway, I'll try to take the pace and the checkered flag. Why the computer turns left? Maybe because I'm pushing too much, so it enlarges the racing line to avoid to spin. Okay, let's see. Oh no! So you take the checkered flag, you have still seconds to race, but for some silly reason your session is over. So no improvement with Fernando. Anyway, will be not a huge problem, but as you can see from a qualifying point of view, I'm off the pace. Absolutely, I haven't been able to do something better. At least the warm-up will be dry, so we can go directly to leave the pre-race, save the game. It's not a bad practice. Okay, so we can race with Schumacher first, Ferrari, Coulter second, McLaren, Ralph Schumacher, Williams, BMW third, Barrichello fourth, Ferrari, Hakkinen, McLaren fifth, Montoya or Montoya if you are from Colombia, Williams, BMW sixth, then Trulli, Jordan, Mugen, Honda, Villeneuve, Bar, Honda, Raikkonen, Hatfield, Sauber, Petronas but Ferrari engine, and Pani, Bar, Honda, the two Jaguars, Ford, Pedro Della Rosa, Eddie Irvine, France and Prost Grand Prix, Fisichella, Benetton, Renault, Bernoldi, Arrows, Johnson, Button, Benetton, Renault, again Verstappen with the other Arrows, Thomas, Inge, Prost, and we close the field with Young and Alonso. Now, the possible tire strategy and in general strategy for the race will be 2 pit stops with both, I would say, soft dries to start the race, and I think we can go on also because it's everything like it was before. Yes. Okay, so let's go. We press F9 to have the launch control. Good start for Young, clean line. Up to P10 with Kimi Raikkonen on our left side. Wow, P8. P7 now. I think that Alex Young has never been in this position. Even if the understeer starts to kick in. What I did, I don't know. Let me see the replay, because it was something like a circus. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Let me see from Jean-Alesi point of view. Ah, we touched, okay. And then he passed. Understood. I was really too wide. 2 wheels. And no damage, at least for the front wing. A bit of lucky. A bit of luckiness. Anyway, let's go on. Obviously I don't have the pace to fight properly with these cars. While there is a Williams spinning, Ralf Schumacher, what he did I don't know, he was fighting with Barrichello. Missed the braking zone. Well, it's more about Barrichello closing while braking. He moved. Yes. And Ralf was... Yes, was there, but really lost the control of the car. Yes, to be honest, Barrichello did close a bit the racing line. Yeah, defended his position, but was not good for the German driver of the Williams BMW that gifted us an incredible... Okay. No. Why? Okay, the little advantage we had has been already messed up by myself. I don't know what happened, but while taking the car back from the replay, I've completely lost the racing line. I mean, it was a matter of moments to be passed, to be honest. This is Hetfeld. Now we have Alonso P17 and Olivier Panis on our back. But we will succumb very soon. We don't have the top speed, not the power, not the grip to fight with these cars that are far more quicker than us. But when you choose the slowest car of the grid, this is what you have to face with. There is a yellow flag zone, I've lost where. Bad line. Again, bad line. Okay, it's time to be passed by Olivier Panis with the bar Honda. We will defend anyway the position, but I'm not hoping to stay in the top 10 today. Believe me, it will be a tough race for both the Minardis. While Ralf Schumacher is gaining back the time lost with the first lap racing incident, we are approaching fast corners and the understeer is starting to kick in again. But at least behind Olivier Panis there is Fernando Alonso, so from helping a bit my teammate is not a bad thing. with the crisscross of trajectories. Look what I did. Cut the line here. Stayed in the closest part, in the part closest to the apex, and I've defended the position, even if, as you can see, the racing line is wider than this one. Anyway, P12, Alonso ahead. Bad defending line. And now we are facing Pedro de la Rosa with the Jaguar. I'm happy for one thing. The setup I've prepared, at least with the computer like happened in Australia, is working properly, and Fernando is P11 at least. Today, no business for me. Fernando Alonso, quickest lap time. I should just prepare the setup and then let the computer drive the car. No. Okay. Another mistake, and P19, it is also the last position before the change of driving stint with Alonso, that is P09, far from how much? 3 seconds from Jacques Villeneuve, but I'm sure I will destroy his race. I told you. There's a Ferrari out. Here's Barrichello. Another yellow flag. Eddie Irvine out of the race with the Jaguar. And was an engine problem for Irvine. For Barrichello instead was just a driving problem. Oh no! Bad mistake. Bad mistake. I told you I would have ruined the race of Fernando, and I did it as soon as the car started to face a bit of consumption of the tires. I've started to slow down, be too aggressive, start to lose the car here and there, and ruin a possible end in the points. I'm sorry for Fernando. And now we are facing behind us Alex Young with the same car but driven by the computer. It is quite better than me. I've lost again the racing line, the ideal one. Yes, I start to lose grip. As soon as tires are starting to be used between 0.6 and 0.65. There's a Ferrari maybe retiring, and this Barrichello regained a position. No. It's a huge disaster today. If it wasn't for the computer-controlled car, neither with the computer. Fine. So let's try to ruin also the race of Alex Young, and then we will be really in the best position. I must admit it's not a track I've raced on very often, so I'm not really at my maximum possibility like I was in Australia, but I was not thinking to be also so poor in performances. First window of pit stop is Coulter. It starts 1:36. Fernando Alonso driven by the computer. Again, I try to overdrive the car, and it's not a good thing. Let's try to facilitate the pass of Alonso. And let's try to follow him. And in the next lap he will go to the pit. Now he's battling with a Benetton of Fisichella. Ooh, almost hitting Fernando. No, Fernando. No, I can't believe it. Sorry. I wanted two things. The first one is the duel with Fisichella, almost touching Alonso.
Try and get back.
Ooh. And Alonso started to have a water leak. No. I'm sorry for you, but maybe it will be a race completely driven with Alex Young, because I'm not sure Alonso will be in the condition to go to the pit and repair the car. Despite having the booking of the pit stop. Let me see, but yes. Unluckily, the first Minardi is out of the race, and with Fernando, that will not score any more points. And now it's our turn to go to the pit and at this point finish the race with Alex Young, hoping to have a lot of retirements in front of us, but will be very difficult to score points, gaining 6th position just because the other
hit at the end of this lap.
Okay, I think this setup is well suited for the computer. Not for me, and as you can see from the bottom of the screen, tire consumption has arrived to numbers like 2 point something in the front part of the car, and generally Grand Prix 2, 3 and 4 obviously, when they have this consumption, it does mean tires are gone. There's something less felt, let's say, less problematic with Grand Prix 2, but with 3 and 4 is absolutely a mess. And was also a mess before. So the only thing I can see here is try to do 34 laps, because we will be anyway 1 lap down. Why the car is not going? Okay, because they were still refueling the car, and the idea is to not stop anymore. And try to gain a bit, also because we are last. We don't have the pace to attack anybody. We will try just to save tires and hope for others' retirement. But let's see from now how many laps will happen. Before we will hit again that 2.0 consumption. Okay, this is Mika or Coulthard, I don't know. Fine. Whoever was, I was overlapped. And transmission problem and water leak together, really? I can't believe it. Both transmission problem and water leak. Not only the same problem of Fernando, but yes, no more control of the traction. Well guys, this is really something special. I mean, I was not competitive. The computer at least driven the two Minardis in a decent way. we had also the quickest lap time, for what I remember. Yes, Fernando Alonso 1:36.3, but this is the crude and sad reality of my driving today. So not only a retirement for a water leak with the car of Fernando, but also transmission problem with Alex Young while I was last. So unluckily nothing more I can do. Just waiting the marshals. Yes. And so for your happiness, having both Minardi out of the race will be just a matter to give the race director, the current choice for the TV screen capture. So in this moment we are with Michael Schumacher. Let's go back to... No, sorry, before that I was looking at the table. This is maybe more readable. So Alonso was the quickest so far, 1:36.3, followed by Schumacher, Ralph and Alex Young, respectively 36.9, 37.0. So was absolutely, let's say, a day where at least with the help of the artificial intelligence I could have been in the position to, if not win the race, score points, but I've been so good to destroy the race of my drivers that anyway the destiny, the karma decided differently and decided to stop both cars for the shame of my driving. Anyway, that's it. So the real situation of the ranking, apart from top lap times, is Schumacher first with Ferrari with 28 seconds of advantage over Mika Häkkinen. Yes. I've not seen the number of pit stops already made by the drivers, but who cares? Yes, I keep this thing. So there is David Coulthard, fourth currently, overlapping Bernoldi with the Asiatech engined arrows. Fisichella in the pit. And so in the top 6 positions that will score points, we have Schumacher currently scoring 10 points, Häkkinen 6, Trulli 4, Coulthard 3, so maybe keeping the leadership in the championship. Atfield with the Sauber 2 points, 5th position, and Olivier Panis with the Bar Honda, Mugen Honda 6th, 1 point. Here we have a strange view from the rear, the Sauber Petronas Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen, that back in 2001 was at his debut together with Fernando Alonso. And here some overlapped cars are making Trulli lose a bit of time. They are the two Benetton Renault, currently, where is Button? Because Fisichella is 15th and Button 14th. Okay. This is Jos Verstappen, the father of the current Max Verstappen, leader of the Formula 1 2021 Championship, chasing Enric Bernoldi, his teammate with the Arrows. Arrows Asiatech, that is anyway, for what I remember, the ex-Renault V10 engine, rebranded Mecachrome in 1999. or 98 maybe, and then came to be called Asiatech in this 2001 season. I like very much this heat effect, visual effect of the heat that stays up to a certain point, then in a minute, in a second, becomes clean. Still with the flying Finn, Mika Häkkinen second currently, chasing Schumacher, but really with an indecent gap to gain back, even if Schumacher was in the pit. And so after the pit we have Häkkinen ahead 2 seconds in front of Schumacher, then Trulli following and chasing the German Ferrari driver, but I do see that Häkkinen maybe will have a pit call in the next laps, like is going to happen for Jarno Trulli, 3rd, and Pedro de la Rosa, 8th. So let's say the pit stop of Trulli. He will come out, I suppose, behind Jacques Villeneuve maybe. And after the pit stop of Trulli, we will go to see the fight between Häkkinen and Schumacher, even if 2 seconds are enough to wait for a second for the fight behind. Let's see the pit stop. As you can see, a game old 20 years with a beautiful animation of the pit stop, as was back then. So there is the refueling, maybe until the end at this point, and truly after 15 seconds of stop and maybe 45 seconds of entire time spent in the pit. Yes, 47. So let's go. This is a Heidfeld fourth, but going to pit again. So the situation is Schumacher, Ferrari, chasing Mika Häkkinen, that not completed the first pit stop yet, but he is losing anyway time over Schumacher with fresh tires and a refueled car. So maybe Häkkinen is going to do just one pit after the half of the race, but will not in a way succeed on winning the race, because behind him we have Schumacher already pitted and Coulthard already did his pit stop. So maybe Häkkinen will fight with Heidfeld, Trulli and Alesi, but let's go to see Trulli. With the lap time, what will do compared to Häkkinen, because currently Trulli has 3/10 of pace, of best pace, better than Häkkinen. So let's go to see. Yes, this is Trulli. Okay, so let's start to make calculation. Häkkinen is not going now to the pit. And let's see his lap time. Maybe 1:37, 38. with all the tires, 38.8. Schumacher 38.1, so really the quickest. Together, no, is David Coulthard 37.8. Let's go to get Trulli, this one. 38.3, so not really hugely quicker than Häkkinen. And he has how many seconds to gain back? 36. But he will succeed because Häkkinen is going to the pit, will spend more or less 40 seconds in the pit. And so will be easy for the Italian driver of the Jordan Mugen Honda to take back his position. But let's see how many seconds Mika will lose. Coulthard is passing now. Not really a nice... Okay, this is a proper cam view. Beautiful. Apart from the graphic, it is not, I mean, comparable to nowadays modern games, even if having 20 years is absolutely a masterpiece of technology, thanks to Geoff Crammond and his team. But let's see the exit of Häkkinen. Still in third position, because this one is Jos Verstappen and this one is Jarno Trulli. So at least he succeeded on keeping the third position. I was sure it was a matter of time for Trulli to pass the Flying Finn. And from a lap time point of view, this last lap Schumacher lost some seconds given the battle with Häkkinen. He has 3 seconds of advantage over David Coulthard with the other McLaren, and with 25 laps to go, I'm curious about Trulli having enough fuel to finish. Häkkinen also. Let's go to... This is a surprise. This is Coulthard that will have 8.7 laps of fuel. Still to do. So maybe Coulthard was on 2 pit stop strategy, will lose the second position in favor of Häkkinen, and Schumacher instead had the right choice of just 1 pit stop, load all the fuel possible and go to the end. So a good strategy for the Ferrari team today. A bit less for the McLaren with David Coulthard, with the Scott driver, but at least they have differentiated the strategy. So despite arriving 30 seconds far with Häkkinen compared to Schumacher, at least Coulthard will have to fight with a lighter car against Trulli, I think. So maybe the podium is not yet decided. And I see now in 7th position, with the second best lap time of the race, Ralf Schumacher, after the spin of the first part of the race, in the first part of the race. He will maybe arrive to the points, because he has in front just Jacques Villeneuve in 20 laps, let's say affordable. So now we have also the explanation of the speed of David Coulthard. He had one pit stop more to do compared to the leader Schumacher. But I've lost one thing, truly passing Häkkinen. Because Häkkinen is, I think he made a mistake. He was chasing Bernoldi. They touched, and Bernoldi was not keen to let Häkkinen pass, so Trulli goes away. Verstappen with the other. Arrows. Anyway, I find Bernoldi in this game at least very ridiculous. I mean, you have blue lights that are telling move away because there is a quicker driver behind you, and you close also the door. You are really an idiot. And look the graphic again of this game, 20 years old. I will never get tired of telling this, apart from the heat effect that is not, let's say, the most modern one. I do remember when I was a sales assistant in a famous Italian retailer for electronics, households, etc. And where is Häkkinen? And I had the opportunity to prepare the store for a new opening place, and back then we hadn't the current power of graphic and hardware computing, but this game was running with a Pentium 4 very well prepared, sold in that store for the new opening. And I do remember we connected the game and let just the computer do all the practice, all the qualifying, all the races, all day long. And many people were absolutely surprised back then to see a game so particular, almost real in many aspects, and was absolutely the future back then. Not maybe from a simulation pure point of view, because here you don't have tire temperatures, you don't have, let's say, the real control of all the technical aspect of the car like you do today with iRacing, Assetto Corsa, etc. But the graphic level was absolutely ahead of his time and was magic. So if you don't mind, for a second I will let you just the standings and switch to the race director and leave you really 5 minutes of pure Formula 1 sounds. See you very soon in a couple of seconds. And so we go back after some laps where nothing has happened really important apart from the second pit stop of David Coulthard, still second and ahead of Jarno Trulli, with the current in the images Jordan Mugen Honda, and Häkkinen not capable to gain back enough seconds. Wow, here there is Jenson Button overlapped by Kimi Räikkönen, I think. And so with less than 15 laps to go, just 13 until the end, and some, how to say, changes in the top 6 positions, you remember for sure, maybe just some retirements can really affect the current classification. Also because, as said before, Coulthard has pitted 2 times and will not recover 30 seconds from Michael Schumacher, the current leader. Jarno Trulli and Mika Häkkinen are involved in 9 seconds gap to try to score the last spot on the podium, but I think that with the current pace Trulli will not lose his position, and so will be just a matter of reliability, possibly, driver mistakes, driving errors, and that will be the maximum that we can expect from the current race. Rubens Barrichello in the pit. I've lost the Brazilian driver that to me was retired, but maybe I'm wrong. Also because I don't see Barrichello, so it was a mistake, or I did read, yes, because Barrichello is out, so maybe I was reading just something wrong. And so finally, less than 10 laps to finish this race, with Michael Schumacher in the lead with 30 seconds of advantage over David Coulthard with McLaren. Then we have Jarno Trulli still third with the Jordan Honda, followed by Mika Häkkinen with a 8 seconds gap from the Italian driver. Jean Alesi with the other Jordan Honda 5th position, chased in 7 seconds by Ralf Schumacher with the Williams BMW, that at the end succeeded to gain back some positions. But overall, I must admit, it's a race without huge surprises. I was waiting more or less the arrival of Schumacher in the classification, in the ranking. He had all the potential to do it, was just a matter of time, and I must say it's also something really nice after 20 years from the arrival of this game, and after unluckily what happened to Michael Schumacher in his private life, to see a Schumacher name at the top of a ranking, hoping that very soon also Mick Schumacher, the son, will be in the position to score victories. So with less than 8 laps to go, we are running with Michael Schumacher in the lead with Ferrari. It's nice to see the Schumacher name at the top of the ranking, hoping that the son Mick Schumacher will very soon be in the position to score wins and score points. Here the directors was a bit together with Verstappen and Bernoldi fighting for the 15th position with their Arrows Asiatech. Here is Bernoldi attacking internally Verstappen, Jos, the father of the current max leader of the championship. But the directors decides to go back to Schumacher in the lead, while Bernoldi succeeded on passing his teammate. And while Verstappen is leaving Jacques Villeneuve to pass, overlapping him, now will be the turn for the Brazilian Enric Bernoldi, maybe to leave space to the Canadian 97 world champion, and maybe the Dutch driver Jos Verstappen will take advantage of this overlapping moment. But the directors go to Jarno Trulli, third with the Jordan Honda, and chased in 6 seconds, down to 6 seconds less, by Häkkinen, that anyway with 5 laps to go will not succeed, I think, to get back on the podium. If you remember previously, Häkkinen had a trouble with Bernoldi overlapping the Arrows driver, spun off, and then had some troubles to recover a bit of advantage. I must correct myself, this is Olivier Panis and not Jacques Villeneuve, so 9th at the moment, while the two Arrows are maybe restarting to fight each other. So here we are again. This time Verstappen passed Bernoldi. Maybe we can have a look to the pass on track. Yes, here. So Verstappen internally did brake very hard, and Bernoldi almost lost the racing line. So he went in the back of his teammate. So from the starting grid you can see that Schumacher and Coulthard kept their position. Is truly the one that gained the 4th position. Häkkinen 1, Alesi 3. Ralf Schumacher lost 3 spots in the field, but at least after the spin succeeded on going back in the points area. The directors goes to David Coulthard, 2nd. Approaching Enric Bernoldi with the Arrows Asiatech. That, as said before, is not a real engine. Asiatech is a Renault engine, rebranded Microprose starting from 1998 season. And then rebranded as Asiatech for commercial reasons, like the Sauber pushed by the Ferrari engine, but rebranded Petronas, still for commercial reason. This is Ralf Schumacher battling with Alesi for the 5th place, so the German driver succeeded on gaining back all that he has lost with the spin. And this is Mika Häkkinen passing Frentzen. I think he's the last overlapped car between him and Trulli, but with 2 laps to go, unless Trulli makes some mistake, he will keep the podium. Yes, he has let's say 2 corners, 1 corner of advantage, but let's go to also see a replay of Ralf Schumacher that was ahead of Alesi. Then Alesi took the slipstream, moved internally, arrived to the braking zone, braking very hard, and passing again the German driver, staying in the front and sending back to Schumacher the tentative initially successful to catch the 5th position. I will keep an eye also on Hakkinen and Trulli, because maybe this is the only possible pass on track before the end of the race, considering also that they are not overlapped, so they will have all the laps available to fight for the 5th place. Yes, here we are. Last corners and the two main straights, the one in the back of the pit and the other with the starting finish line. Ralph is trying to find the correct spot. This time stays behind the French driver to maximize his speed now. Remember, there was not DRS available back then, so you had to build up your pass on track, and does look like this time Ralph succeeded on it. So because I do not see any other possible change in the classification, I would go to Michael Schumacher, that was quicker than me on scoring the victory for the first time in the season. And now we will wait David Coulthard, that was far 20, how many? 24 seconds, but keeps the leadership in the championship with 14 points, with 16 points.
Drive, 6 points.
Third is Jarno Trulli, here we are, with the Jordan, and will become the current leader for the Jordan team in the ranking with 4 points. Two more than Genovese, that will confirm again the 6th position ahead in Australia. Fourth is Mika Hakkinen. Let's go to get Ralf Schumacher, that really completed a sort of remontada, if you like, a turn coming from the soccer world, from the midfield, from the almost last positions in the grid, after a spin in the first races, sorry, after first laps. Sixth is Genovese, and so we can go to celebrate the German driver, the Ferrari Formula 1 team, Michael Schumacher, winner of the Malaysian Grand Prix, completing then a podium, as said, with David Coulthard, McLaren, Jarno Trulli, Jordan, Mika Hakkinen, McLaren, Ralf Schumacher, Williams, BMW, and Genovese with the other, Jordan. So that's it for the moment. Out of the points we have Mick Heidfeld with Sauber, Villeneuve Panis Bar Honda, Raikkonen Sauber, De La Rosa Jaguar, Frentzen Prost Grand Prix, Fisichella Benetton Renault, Thomas Ainge Prost Grand Prix, and the two arrows with Jenson Button closing the classification of today. As you can see, we have been, let's say, called by a transmission problem and a water leak, so we didn't conclude it, so we didn't finish the race. So not a good, really not a good result for us, but we will try in the next Grand Prix to do much better. Let's go to see also the circuit records that were made by Schumacher and Schumacher again in the race, if I'm not wrong. I don't understand this strange... Okay, previous records were 37.9 Ferrari Schumacher. This time Schumacher did 1:35, scoring the pole position, a record. The best race lap was of Mika Häkkinen with the McLaren, 1:38.5, but this time Fernando Alonso scored a 1:36.3. So we were definitely really quick, as said in the race. We had the opportunity, driven by the computer, to for sure gain some positions, at least to arrive close to the points area, like we did in Australia, but this time we were not lucky from a reliability point of view, and I was definitely too slow compared to the computer, so for sure I have to improve the feeling I have with the keyboard and be, let's say, more ready to use at his maximum the setup that I prepared during practice. That being said, I can only say that we will see in a second the classification of the points, the scoring points. So 10 Schumacher, 6 Coulthard, 4 Trulli, 3 Häkkinen, 2 Schumacher, 1 Alesi. The constructors: Ferrari 10 points, 9 McLaren, 5 Jordan, 2 Williams. So we can go on and have a look to the current championship, where Coulthard is leading with 16, Schumacher 10 brings himself and his team in the second position, Barrichello 16, Schumacher Ralph 4th with 5 points in the Williams BMW, Trulli 4 together with Juan Pablo Montoya, Häkkinen 3, Alonso 2, Alesi 2. Let's go to see also the Constructors' Championship, with McLaren leading with 19 points, 3 more than Ferrari 16, 9 Williams BMW, 6 Jordan Honda, 2 Minardi European. Again, European is not the real engine, is a rebranded engine like we have seen with Asiatech and Microprose previously. So that's it for the moment. I leave you the current driver positions. I will improve and update the classification here in a better way, and the appointment is saving the game. Let's see if we can do it. Yes, we can save it. Alright, back in the classification. Next Grand Prix will happen at Interlagos, Brazil, at least a track that I know a bit better than the Malaysian one, so I hope to do a better result, a better race, hoping that reliability will not affect our race. And I can only say thank you for watching also this video. I wish you all the best. As always, stay home, stay safe, stay racing, enjoy the weekend, and see you very soon. From Italy, from Marco. Bye bye. Ciao.